What's going on, ladies and gents? This is Jeff, and this is the Bedrock to growing a headache-free prospecting engine. And if these numbers don't work, you will flywheel down, but if they do, you'll flywheel up. For context, by the way, flywheeling down is when you take on a client and customer and you lose time, you lose money, and you cannot take another client and your service gets worse. But if you flywheel up, when you take on a client, you get more time, you get more money, your service improves, things like that. Once you master the flywheel process or how to establish a flywheel, your numbers do this. If you don't understand a flywheel, your numbers do that. And to start this conversation off, I'm going to assume that you're comfortable spending $500 a week on online advertising. If you're not, that's okay. I've been there. I get it. Go back to organic, the power partner process, use your personal profile, do cold emailing, things along those lines. If you can't afford $500 a week, that's totally fine. No big deal. I'm just assuming for this video that you can. So let's just say you are an online advertising agency. It probably makes sense for you to advertise your services as well. You don't want to be the ad guy that doesn't advertise their services. That just that's like a fat personal trainer. It just kind of feels weird, right? So let's just assume you're advertising $500 per week. What are you advertising to? Who you're advertising to? What's in your ad? Things like that. The easiest way is to do what's called a strong direct offer. Don't worry about generating a list. Don't worry about the number one thing you didn't know. Sign up now to get a free PDF. Don't worry about that. It works, but it doesn't work as good as a strong direct offer, which is literally, hey, do you want X? That's it. Our best performing ads take this, hey, do you want X, and build upon it. Our worst performing ads are actually the ones that, hey, sign up and get our free PDF. It doesn't quite work out that way, especially when you're starting out, especially want to grow. You only want people and you only want to talk to people that want your stuff. That's it. So, hey, Mr. Johnson, do you want X? Chances are, by the way, if you're watching this video, you may not know what your X is. I get it. I've been there. The easiest thing that I did to solve that X question was talk to my future clients and customers and say, hey, if you were to buy online advertising, what do you want? What do you want from your online advertising? I surveyed 20 or 30 of my dream clients and customers. Guess what? That is now the X. No big deal, not that hard. X, by the way, is usually the thing that they want and the language they use and the time frame that they need. That's the format. Like, hey, Dr. Lawyer Accountant, do you want X customers in Y time that want to buy X from you? That's it. If you're a lawyer, hey, do you want pre-qualified bankruptcy cases and people calling your business in less than 30 days? That's it. Hey, if you're a dentist, do you want high-value patients that want to buy your implant services in 30 days or less? Things along those lines. Super aggressive offer. You can deliver on it. Not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. Hey, Mr. Johnson, do you want X? And X is the thing that they want, using the language that they use and the time frame that they need. That is it. Not that hard, not that challenging. Again, $500 a week. Hey, Mr. Johnson, do you want X? Use that format. Don't worry about generating a list. Don't worry about getting 50 people to sign up for your 17-step PDF. Direct offer is the easiest way to do it. If you're curious about how you advertise, you can use Facebook ads. If you're curious who you're advertising to, you can get a list from a list broker, or you can simply go into Facebook and choose your job title, I believe, or an interest, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Second step is getting them to sign up to a form. They click on the ad, and then what happens? Great. If you're interested in more information, give me your name, number, and email, and 3 more questions. You do not want low-quality leads with this. You will have a bad time. You'll get false positives. Your emotions will get all weird because you're like, oh, I've got 30 people on my list and nobody was responding. You're going to think it's horrible. Don't do that. You want high-quality customers and high-quality leads to lead into those high-quality customers. So first things first, name, number, and email, and 3 additional questions. Do you want this? Yes or no? Are you X kind of client? Yes or no? And a third question, depending upon your industry or your niche. I am happy to spend $500 a week to get 10 real-life businesses that give me their name, number, and email that want what I have to sell, a dream client and customer, and an extra question just to filter out all the bad people. And you know what? If I had 10 people that were calling and texting my business, that is better than 100 people not calling and texting my business. Makes sense, right? So name, number, and email, and 3 more questions. Are you sure you want this? Are you our X kind of client? And an extra question depending upon your niche. That's all you have to do. I'm willing to spend, by the way, $50 per lead. That's my dream client and customer that is on a list, that saw the ad, typed in the name, number, and email, asked 3 questions. That's it. No big deal. From there, by the way, I say thanks so much for signing up. If you'd like to schedule a qualification call to spend 10 to 15 minutes on the phone and see if we want to do business with each other, click here and goes to a calendar form. Just like that. Easy, fast, simple, nothing complicated, no videos, no challenges, nothing like that. Again, we're not building a list. We're building real life customers and clients. From there, I'm willing to spend up to $150 per qualification call. I know that 1/3 of clients will self-schedule with a 15-minute qualification call. When that qualification call time kicks in, I simply call their business. I build rapport. I say, where are you now with your business? Where do you want to go? What's the number of things stopping you? And then I tee up the demo. It's a 10 to 15-minute conversation. I literally spend 2-3 minutes. Oh, yeah, I'm based out of XYZ city. Oh, yeah, I've been there before. Oh, how far are you from X monument? I can say that because guess what? I Googled their area code and their business beforehand, so it's easier to build rapport. Mr. Johnson, all right, so the reason why we're on the phone is because you responded to an ad about getting more X. How many X's are you doing now? Gotcha. Okay, cool. And how many do you want to do in the future? And what's the number of things stopping you from doing that? Okay, is that because of X or Y or Z, 1, 2, and 3? Awesome. Well, the good news, Mr. Johnson, is if that's the number one thing that's stopping you from accomplishing your future goal, we can definitely talk about it in our 45-minute upcoming demo. What's a good time for you? Then I go ahead and schedule them. That's it. If for whatever reason, fewer than 1/3 of the people are scheduling, just hire an appointment setter, have them chase down some leads, and pay them for a demo show up. That's it. You can get an Alex or a Jim or a John or a Steph or whoever you're calling your qual call person and say, hey, we've got a list of clients and they're not showing up to the qual calls and they didn't schedule a qual call. So I want you to call them and bug them and do a qual call and I'll pay you $50 every time they show up to the demo. That's it. Easy. Now, I know 1/3 of demos are going to show up and close. 2 out of 3 are going to be unqualified or not show up, or it's a bad fit. It'll be the end of the demo. They're like, I don't want to pay that. And what are you going to do, right? You're just not going to close them. So 1/3 of the demos are going to close. I'm paying $450 for a demo to close. Cool. What's a close? That's $2,000 over here, but we'll get there in a bit. What is the demo? The demo is number one. First things first is about 5 minutes beforehand, I send them a testimonial video of our previous client and customer. If you don't have a previous client or customer or a testimonial video, do some free work, get some people liking your stuff, and now you've got 5 to 10 testimonials, you're good. From there, I do another client questionnaire. I literally bring up a Google Doc, ask them questions, dive into their pain, make sure it's a real thing. Everybody's going to be saying, but didn't you do that in the qualification call? Yeah, I did, but guess what? They don't remember, neither do I. You got to remind the clients and customers of the pain. When you go to a dentist, when you go to a doctor, when you go to an attorney, when you go to a lawyer, same thing, or an accountant, the front desk asks you questions. It's probably the same questions that they asked you beforehand coming in. And then when you sit down with the real life client, the real life business owner, they ask you very similar questions. It's how they do it. It's to remind you of the pain and make sure that they're on the right path. From there, I go into the demo. I show them how the program works and how we deliver the X, how we deliver the X, how we deliver their X, just like that. At the end of the demo, I say, Mr. Johnson, does this make sense? Are you interested in buying what I have to sell? If you had this, would this move the needle in your business? I say, great, it's going to cost you X dollars. We're going to throw in some bonuses. When would you like your results to start? If they say anything less than 2 weeks, you say, great. To do that, I'm going to need to process payment on the call, Amex or Visa. That's it. And you close for $2,000. This does not include ad spend. As soon as the client closes, you send them an onboarding form with next steps, probably very similar questions that you already have answers to, but you send it to them anyway. From there, you get that response. I don't care if it's Google Forms or high level or some type of complicated process. Just send them a form so they can get started. Then you request access to their Facebook page or build out a copycat page and have your campaign go live in 2 or 3 days. Before your campaign goes live, you send them a 10 to 15 minute overview video, usually called the launch video, and your stuff goes live. This is the bedrock to growing a headache-free prospecting engine. And if these numbers work, you'll be spending $500 a week to get a $2,000 close. Cool. You net $1,500 a week every single week. When you have margins like that, you can hire a personal assistant. You can hire an account manager. You can reinvest into your team. And when you do that, every time you get a client, you offload a task to somebody else. You're literally getting time back. Every time you get a client, you're getting money back. Every time you get a client, your services get better. Your onboarding forms questions get better. Your demo gets better. Your qual calls get more advanced, and you know more of the X's. You start flywheeling up. If you are doing this and you're charging less, well, chances are you're going to flywheel down. And when you get a client, you cannot get more clients. You run out of time and you run out of money. You start all over from scratch, and then you have to go get a client again. So that's the bedrock to growing a headache-free prospecting engine. And if these numbers don't work, you will flywheel down. But if they do, you will flywheel up. So that's it for this video. See you guys later. Bye.